welcome. You're watching Money9 and this is Last Take, a show where we recap for you the entire market day's trading action as well as share with you what could be the possible movements that we may see in the markets in the next day's trade as well. Quickly, let's sum up for you how the markets really ended in today's trading session and how the session was. In fact, you can actually see there's a more of a red on the screen rather than green. Remember, right at the open, we had opened up with 0.5% of gains for the benchmark indices, the Sensex and the Nifty. In fact, we've seen record high levels intraday being touched on both these benchmark indices of 52,500 being achieved on an intraday basis for Sensex and 15,400 well for the very first time for the Nifty as well. However, towards the close in the last 2.5 hours or 3 hours of trade, we've actually seen most of the gains that the markets had garnered in the first 1.5 hours has actually, trimmed around further, and the markets paired most of these gains to end marginally flat with a negative bias. 52,104 for the Sensex as the closing level. That's 50 points of downtick. Nifty 50 also closed with just marginal 0.01% of loss in today's trading session, absolutely flat with the negative bias. Talking about Nifty Bank here, 0.5% of loss for this one, underperforming the benchmark indices. The Nifty Bank gave up most of its gains today, and you can actually see most of the profit booking has actually taken place right after the Nifty Bank also touched over 37,600 kind of levels right in the early trade that we saw today. For the broader market indices, if you see, this is the space that has really outperformed the markets today, especially the small cap index. Almost 0.5% of gains for the small cap index today. 19,778 was the closing level for the BSE small cap. The BSE mid cap, however, also shut shop at about 40 points gain. 20,228 is the level at which the mid cap index also shut shop with 0.19% of gains thereof at that as well. Looking at the sectors that really moved the markets today, you can actually see there's a split screen between red and green on your screens right now. The auto index fell marginally lower in trade. Financial services also gave up most of its gains. It was the FMCG and IT index that really lost quite a bit in today's trading session. 1.5% loss for the IT sector. So that's where the pain point came in for the markets today. Media stocks again lost about 0.77% in trade. However, the outperformance came in from the metal space. It actually rose up about 3% in trade, adding almost 100 points to its kitty. Also, the pharma index performed better, 0.5% of gains over there. The PSU banking index, however, held up the Nifty Bank, 1.5% for gains for that sector towards the close as well. The private banking index, however, has lost towards the close with 0.5% of loss over there. The realty index still holding up some of the gains that it had garnered in the early trade, 0.27% of gains for that index as well. Moving on to the sector gainers and the losers as well. As far as the Nifty is concerned, you can see the oil and gas space has really, and the power space has outshone in today's trading session. The stock of the day clearly was ONGC, 5% up in trade. Remember, it's the steel space, the metal space, the oil and gas. This has been really rising in trade, and also you can see Power Grid up about 6.5%. That's one counter that has outperformed the markets today too. Tata Steel and Hindalco from the metal space again up about 4% in trade, again contributing to the Nifty today, and NTPC again from the power space up about 3%, holding up the Nifty and not letting it slip down further. These were the counters that contributed the most. Moving on to another set of losers from the Nifty pack. It's been all across the banking space and the heavyweights at that, and that also from the private banking space. ICICI Bank and Axis Bank losing the most, about 2.5 to 3%. Eicher Motors, Nestle and Tata Motors. So some of the losses also coming in from the auto pack and the FMCG pack as well. These were the heavyweights that actually pulled down the Nifty in today's trading session as well. But overall, if you see these kind of losses that we have seen, they can actually be seen as just a minor correction in the whole run-up of the markets that we've already witnessed today. Moving on to the primary space, Nireka Limited opened for subscription yesterday. It's the day 2. So far, it has got subscribed 11.5 times. A good response on day 1 itself. It was oversubscribed then. And today it has been extending the oversubscription so far, and the IPO will shut shop on February 17th. So keep an eye out on that one as well, and we'll keep sharing the updates with you on that front. A new IPO that came into the buzzing space today is Railtel Corporation. It's the day one of the IPO. The issue has been subscribed 1.85 times so far, and the IPO will close on February 18. Now remember, the oversubscription has just happened in the day for one only, and this is going to be another IPO that has actually come after IRFC in this year alone from the railways infrastructure space and the railways space entirely as well. So keep an eye out on this one as well. Now, the new listing that happened today, Brookfield India REIT, there was a mild listing that we saw in today's trading session. It has settled at 269 rupees on the NSE, and that's below the issue price of 275 rupees. Remember, it was a mild to a negative listing, no premium listing for this one, as was being expected by some of the experts or some of the street estimates or analysts as well. But the market movement also could not help it really rise much higher in today's trading session. However, most of the experts do have a view that for the long term, this could be an interesting counter to really watch out for as and when the real estate space also keeps buzzing going forward from here. So that's far as the market action for today is concerned. We'll leave you at that, but a whole lot of action on the other side on the personal finance front as well. So stay tuned with us on Money9.